Okay, here's another League of Legends game coming your way, this time in the form of a post-game commentary, or a replay to be precise. So you can see the matchups here. I'm up against Amumu. And then there were a lot of trades, Ornn top, Fizz mid, Jhin Pike bot, and then you can see our team. So let's cut this. I never remember what button does what. So there we go. So let's jump over to our hero, moi, playing Elise. So, a couple things to talk about. First and foremost, we do have a Yasuo who does questionable things on account of being a Yasuo. And I should rearrange this before I go into too much detail, but there we go. So, why Elise? Well, I wanted to do a video with an AP jungler showing off the new Runic Echo, which is pretty crap. And to give you a summary of why, we have to go a little bit back into League's history. So when the Spectral Wraith was removed, it was replaced with, I believe, the Runeglaive first. And if you don't know what the Runeglaive is, it's basically the same thing as the Runic Echo, except instead of being Luden's Echo, it was actually Lichbane. So you had a Sheen as the main component, and it would empower your next attack, and so on. So while this was around, all was well and good. It wasn't really ideal for Fiddle and a couple others because you had to weave an auto attack in to get the benefit of it. So they decided, you know what, we'll combine it with Luden's Echo. And at the time, they required an Aether Wisp and everything, and as such, it gave movement speed. So on account of this new item giving movement speed, Riot did the logical thing, of course. Ha ha ha. They nerfed every single person who used it by taking away some of their movement speed. This was Udyr, this is Elise, I believe Nidalee's in the group. Evelynn was reworked on the assumption that it did have the movement speed. And they took this off, but they did literally nothing to compensate all of the nerfs that they had done in the past. And as a result, like, your average AP jungler just sucks these days. Fiddle is the one exception because he has that unique playstyle, and as a result, he does what he pleases. That's probably the best way to describe it. So, I'd say Fiddle is probably the best person to do if you want to try the Runic Echo. In this game, you'll see both me and the Mummy using it. So yes, you get to see the Suicide Bomber Amumu. That's probably the best way to describe it because he jumps in and then he does nothing. So real quick, I should point out, we saw Amumu right here going for that. As a result, I figured, yeah, I'm going to go take his blue buff and really punish him. So I'm dropping this over the wall because I didn't know which route he was going to take immediately. And it's kind of interesting he went over here of all places. Actually, you know what, while we wait... Here we go. So if you're wondering what Pike does, since he's new, passive is gifted to the drowned ones. When he's hidden from enemies, he turns his gray health into normal health, and he can't get max health from anything other than leveling up, so all of that extra health he builds becomes more AD. Q is Bone Skewer. He will throw some sort of skewer. He get channels, I guess, like the Varus and Vi Qs. Pulls the first enemy towards him, deals damage, and I think it pulls them a good amount of distance. I don't know if it's like a blitz pull or what exactly, but it's up there, I believe. And then if you get hit by either part of it, the tap or the hold, which is like a jab and a throw, you get a pretty crippling slow for 1 second. W is Ghostwater Dive. He stealths. He gets a surge of movement speed for 5 seconds. Huh. His E is Phantom Undertow. He dashes, leaves a phantom in his wake. After a period of time, the phantom will return to him, and everything that's hit by the phantom will be stunned. And the duration, I want to say, scales with the rank of the move, but I am not 100% sure on that. And then finally, his ult is Death from below. He will strike all enemies in that X pattern that he'll leave on the ground. He blinks to and executes everyone below that certain amount of health. Enemies that are not executed take physical damage. If an enemy dies in the X from any source, the assisting ally gets the full kill gold, and Pike gets a reset. So he can do Darius type stuff. So that sets up the situation that we're going to find ourselves in. Meantime, we forced Ornn out of lane. He didn't really miss much, and here is when... This is the first major mistake Fiora makes. So right there, he pulled himself onto my spider. I dropped down on him. I'm pinging him. Fiora, open your fucking eyes. She doesn't. So had she paid attention, Mummy would have been completely dead to rights. And the really sad part is this isn't the first time, well, it's not the only time she's going to do this during the game. To describe what she's doing, she tunnels so damn hard, it makes normal tunnel vision look like a panoramic picture. And it's really, really sad. I will go ahead and spoil a little bit for you guys. The Misfortune, the Nautilus, and the Fiora suck. The Fiora is easily the worst of the three. And there's literally nothing I can do for them because all the hardships they encounter are due to choices they make. So as a result, I basically just have to farm for a good portion of the game while I figure sooner or later they're going to get bored at looking at that gray screen and pull their head out of their ass. So until that time comes, expect a little bit of a slow game, which is why I'm going to be hopping around the map. So anyway, let's jump over to Yasuo while I continue to clear. Like, I was really disappointed with Fiora here because Elise has a really strong level 3, and it all went to waste because of that. So I'll try to remember to show the runes after the game, but if you want to know what I'm running, Electrocute Keystone, not Sun Impact, next one is Cheap Shot, so if I land my Cocoon I deal bonus damage. Then I have Eyeball Collector and the Movement Speed one, Movement Speed Bounty Hunter rune. Basically, since I don't get the movement speed from the Runic Echo anymore, I need to get it from some source. And then I'm running, I want to say, Sorcery as the subtree, Celerity and Gather. Yeah, it's Celerity and Gathering Storm, I remember now. Because you'll see Gathering Storm get pretty damn big over the course of this game. It's a long one, in case you didn't notice the video size. So the next thing I need to complain about... So, if you haven't seen the PBE, Riot is gutting Celerity. So, it wasn't bad enough that they took away the movement speed that a lot of the AP junglers really needed. Diana, Evelynn, Elise, even Nidalee. And they're nerfing the next best thing for them to get the movement speed that they need. So, if Riot actually goes through with this, either Evelynn's going right back on the rework list, or... they have to do something. Like, it's really, really sad that characters immediately are reworked, and because of design choices that are made a couple months down the line, they need to go back on that list. It's a complete waste of resources that could be spent on more important things, like a Mordekaiser rework, for example. One where they get rid of that whole hybrid Juggernaut crap. Anyway, let's jump over to me so you can see what I'm up to. So right here we see the Mummy, and as a result his blue buff is up. Once again I figure, yep, I'm gonna go punish him. So this is his second blue buff, and it's the second one I'm denying from him. So you can see he's on his way to red, he probably doesn't suspect a thing. And I probably didn't need to smite that. Can't believe I walked past that ward. So yeah, right there they got the clue if they were paying attention to the minimap. But we can see right here that they didn't actually ping me out. That's really odd. So down goes Ornn. That's the first kill that I contributed to. Wasn't really anything fancy. And the sad part here is I don't have smite. If you look, he does. So there's basically no way for me to get that. And then I guess I could go over how Elise works while I wait for the next thing to happen. You can see the entire map just reset, so we have time to kill. Your passive is Spider Queen. Why does it say Morgana? Yeah, I don't know what happened there. Huh, that's odd. So it does that when you're in spider form, I guess. Yeah. And that's actually the Morgana passive, that's not the Elise one. That's interesting. So anyway, your passive are your spiderlings. When in human form and you cast spells, you generate a spiderling that you can use while in spider form. The spiderlings themselves will heal Elise for some of the... Well, it's not the damage they deal exactly. They deal damage based off your AP and they heal you based off your AP, so it's up to you on what you want to classify that as. Your Q is Neurotoxin and Venomous Bite. In human form, this is a poke type move where it does more damage the healthier the enemy is. In spider form, it's Venomous Bite. It is the opposite. It's an Execute where it does more damage based on how weak the enemy is. So right there, they actually did know it was coming. So Fizz thought he could just turn the corner and get to safety. I have news for him. So right here I have to go human form and poke him with my stuff. And keep in mind, I couldn't see Pike until he got there just then. That's his ult. And I guess I don't know if he split the gold between those two or how exactly that worked, but right there you got to see that while he moved, they moved in to punish. So this was actually the first worthwhile thing I saw them do, because if you look at the numbers here, Jhin has been getting really fed off of Nautilus. So annoying, man. Anyway, your W is Volatile Spiraling and Skittering Frenzy. It's the Spiraling in human form. You'll basically create the Spiraling that's just loaded full of venom. You can release it and it will walk over to something and pop. It's AoE, so it helps you clear. That's the move I start with. Right there it was. And then when you go into human or spider form, you become Skittering Frenzy. Passive effect is a surge of attack speed to the spiderlings. Active effect is you really jack up that attack speed. So this is what allows you to clear really well in the mid game, because it turns your burst AP damage into actually consistent damage. Your E is Cocoon and Repel. So Cocoon is a pretty decent range skill shot. You lob a ball of webbing. If it hits something, it'll stun it for a period of time, scaling off the rank of the move. And then if you're in spider form, so it goes all the way up to 2 seconds from the look of it. Spider form, it's Repel. You will go into the air, you become untargetable, and then you can drop down on an enemy. If you want to use Sudden Impact, this is how you get the thing to proc, because I don't think it works off of the Venomous Bite, even though technically you do dash during it. And finally, your ult is your transformation. So in human form, you lose a bunch of movement speed, but you get attack range. Spiralings go to sleep. In Spider Queen form, they tell you right there, Spiralings deal 32 damage right now. So in Spider form, your Spiralings come out, you get movement speed, but you become melee. So I can give you guys a little bit of history while we wait. Elise was released during Season 3, I believe, or the end of Season 2. When she came out, she had actually really efficient spells. If you notice, her Neurotoxin costs like 100 mana now. That's at rank 5 I'm talking about. Volatile Spiralings 70, Cocoons 50. These were actually a lot cheaper because she was intended to be more like a poke mage. And she was queen of top lane for a long time until they nerfed all of her mana costs and everything to the point where she could literally only jungle. Back in those days, she actually could support too. So it was not the most common thing, but it did happen from time to time where you'd see a support Elise. So right here we don't see Fizz. I'm thinking he's coming down. I don't have a ward at the moment to get vision in the brush, so what I want to do is try to help them get this tower. Once the first blood tower is off the table, I have a lot more flexibility to do stuff. So right there, Fizz went back to mid, Mummy came down, and that's basically our signal to go for the dragon. So overall, nothing too bad or anything going on right now. But don't worry, the game is going to go into a downturn shortly. So there's Mummy. He was behind us the whole time. Can you believe that? So I'm not entirely sure what he thought he was doing, but... wow, that hook went really wide. So right there I had faith that Yasuo was going to land that, and you can see where my faith got me. That's a really loud and annoying sound effect. Had a good drink, so yeah. Anyway, Yasuo goes down. He has received quite a bit of changes as a result of the crit item change. So he still gets a total of 60% crit off of just the Phantom Dancer, it's just the IE is going to work differently. So overall, let's look at the gold numbers real quick. Mummy is ahead of me by 400 gold. Part of that is just due to the fact that he can sit there and farm, while my guys are too busy committing suicide. So I don't really know what the Mummy was thinking here. Like, I guess maybe he's not too familiar with Elise or something, because once the Q missed, that was the end of him, by the way. So if you notice, he's running the Ninja Tabby and Runic Echo. As a result, he has no protection from my AP, and Elise has a lot of burst. So let's jump over here real quick. Here's the heartbreaking part. Oops. So right here I went into spider form because I'm faster. And watch, that's number 3, and bullseye! So if you notice our big problem here, enemy team grouped. They seriously sent 4 people top. Jackass 1 and Jackass 2 were seen around scratching their ass somewhere, I don't know exactly. And then for some reason she figures, oh, I can go 1v3, it's gonna be a piece of cake. So hopefully you can see how this misfortune was a lot more valuable to the enemy than us, and it's only gonna get worse from here, don't worry. So we'll go ahead and jump back to here, where Jackass 2 commits suicide. Not entirely sure what he thought he could do, or why he tried to force that, but as a result he gave up a kill and they still got the tower. So that was a colossal gold swing in their favor. So worth pointing out here, this is the first blue buff that Amumu is going to get, the one that's over here. I denied him 3 in a row. With the new jungle item, losing the blue buff isn't really as devastating as it used to be, especially for Mummy. So there is that going for him. I probably should look into getting a Amumu game in the near future. So right here I was trying to get him to dash. Like that. So right here I'm going to go airborne, I believe. No, I just let him go. So, kind of disappointing. Should also point out Misfortune is using a really old build here. Pretty much all the AD carries go for the new item, Storm Razor. You can read about it here. I think the duration between the attacks is supposed to scale off your attack speed or something, so it's not going to change much for Jhin, but for the other ones it can. So let's jump down to here real quick. Flash right into the group. And he's tanking tower, so he's dead. Bravo, Nautilus. So he has Ninja Tappy for tier 2 boots. Scuttle Crab was taken to give him the Speed Shrine. Wow. Didn't think he was going to survive that. So right there I'm trying to pop the zombie wards so I can get the AP for my eyeball collector. If you ever wonder why I don't use zombie ward, that's because the eyeball collector just really punishes that rune. Well, they can go ahead and take out one of your wards, they give you something that can give you AD or AP in exchange. That is more than a fair deal for me. So right here I'm waiting for the Scuttle Crab to spawn, in case you're wondering. Wasn't sure if Fiora wanted to dive or not. In the end, I opt to not take the chance. And the Cocoon goes wide. So right here, I guess they thought I wasn't alone or something. They thought I was a bait, but in reality, they could have just moved in and killed me right there. Overall, this is one of those things where it would be a hindsight issue for them. No one would expect that this team had a complete and utter breakdown in terms of communication, teamwork, what have you. And just puts us in a really, really bad spot. So anyway, let's jump over to MF. Gonna break the lock here so it doesn't move. So the Ornn teleport went to waste. Mummy has death cap already. So he's almost 1,000 gold over me. Like, I'm trying to figure out what exactly he did to get that much. And the only thing I can think of is he must have gotten a lot more lane farm or something. As for me, I'm trying to build Rylai's here. That way, whenever I poke stuff, it slows it down, and we can possibly follow up or catch someone out. Man, my voice is going out. So Mummy can kill the dragon pretty easily, especially with his AP build. And here you get to see the major problem. They got dragon, they got kills. Where was Fiora? She would seriously rather lose the game than stop split pushing. So with the dragon behind them, as well as the team dead, there's literally nothing stopping them from taking this tower. And what's really sad is, I guess Fiora doesn't understand, these three will take a tower a lot faster than her. So that's one more for them. And right here I'm just trying to poke them a little bit, try to scare them so that they don't go any further. But there's literally nothing you can do right here as jungler if your team refuses to pull their head out of their ass. That's all it comes down to. So let's jump over here real quick. You can see how her split push ended up. She did get the tower in the end. But she goes down. And once again, they're grouped, so they can push here now if they want. So at this point, this is when I just said, yeah, I give up. Call me when you guys want to play the fucking game. So for a good portion of time from here, you're going to just see me wander around farming the jungle. So on one hand, they did get Jhin. And since they started working as a group, I figure, yeah, I'll finally contribute. Don't worry, they're gonna botch it yet. So sadly, we did not land the cocoon or the dredge line, but we can just push the tower in. Wait for the minions to arrive and go from there, right? A little bit of poke here and there. And right there we get to force his flash. So right here I go completely in. The good news is Nautilus is tanking tower, so I'm able to get out of here with just a sliver of health. And then I throw the spiraling behind me just in case someone's chasing. So while that's going on, I want to push this out. I can go into spider form, get a little bit of extra health. This volatile spiderling can clear it out pretty quickly on its own. So when I was playing this, I didn't really pay a lot of attention to some of the builds. Like, I never noticed Nautilus bought the adaptive helm. This will cut into the despair damage that Amumu deals, but it's not going to do anything for the true damage or the single instant spells. So if we are sitting there and just pounding the crap out of him with melee attacks, then I guess Tantrum would count too, but that's not how Elise works. So once again I want to pick that up so I can be eyeball collector. Yeah, my voice is getting really bad here. So the cocoon locks him down. I get knocked back by the fizzled, and in the end we still get the kills. And no, this is not enough to stop Misfortune from raging like a little kid. So right there was Nautilus crying. So keep in mind they still have the kill lead. We have the gold lead overall. But no, nothing can be that simple this game, don't worry. You can see I clapped a mummy and I'm actually a little bit ahead of him now. So right there we pick off mummy before he picks off MF. And since he's Suicide Bomb or Amumu, he can go in, but if he doesn't kill his target, he's not coming out. And even if he does kill his target, he might still not make it out. So I'll get the camera off me for a second. So we're all in the general area, we all see the Infernal, we're going for it. You can see where they are. And I was kind of hoping for help because I want to do the dragon alone. Don't really want to get ambushed out of nowhere. Looking to rappel over the wall, but he didn't come close enough for me to reach him. So right there you get to see how dangerous Mummy is with just his bandage toss. Can't tell what he maxed second. I can't tell what he's maxed second. I want to assume his Tantrum first, then bandage toss, but We can't verify that unless I rewind. So they're in pretty good position. Dragon's up. And down I go. So while these two are over here, here's Fiora. The thing is, over here, you can't see it in the chat because... Actually, why? No, you can't see it. I think Misfortune was crying, get the dragon, get the dragon, get the dragon or something, and I just said, okay, I'll shut you up once and for all, go over there and die, and hopefully you learn the lesson. Hey, this was really, really bad advice. And the sad part is, it's a platinum player, so if they don't actually know better by now, I didn't realize I was just wasting my time. They never will learn. So in the meantime, until the team decides to group once again, I mean, it worked the first time, so why wouldn't it work a second time? I don't know why they won't figure that out. So in the meantime, back to farming. I have the Leandri's Torment. So the whole point of this is that I can burn through the pretty big HP pool of Ornn. He only really has a null magic mantle to deal with my damage, and Leandri's will really make short work of him if we have a long enough fight. So I want to say that's probably his ult. But anyway, Yasuo got caught up by the Goon Squad. While that's going on, you can see where Fiora is. She was crying in chat, so I decided to take that from her. You get to hear me mash the laugh key so that she realizes that was intentional, in case she, like, there was any doubt. Misfortune commits suicide to the Goon Squad. Nautilus. So yeah, if I can dash through you, what's really supposed to be what you do when he tries to stun you? Looks like you don't have a lot of options unless you have hard CC yourself. But anyway, right here, there's literally nothing I can do. The team will not make a coordinated effort to stop the Baron, so I'm gonna try. So right here, Misfortune is pinging, and I just mute her so I don't have to put up with it. You get to see the two platinum babies cry. So Yasuo goes ahead and makes the sacrifice play. A lot more than the team really did deserve. So right now we have Baron. You're thinking, okay, group up, push in lanes, yada yada yada. I mean, there's two open inhibs. What could go wrong? Well, I'm glad you asked. So here's Fiora, here's Misfortune. We'll start here, I guess. Here. So that was the stun on Fiora. Pretty much all their skill shots miss. Nautilus has arrived. I'm down here in case you wonder. So she completely missed her ult. Dies to Fizz. I got the tower down here while this is all going on. Fiora got the inhib. Here comes Yas. So right there I did kill the support, but I ended up dying to Fizz in the process. Where did I die at? Oh, right there. So the important thing to note right now is these are all they have left for towers. All three inhibitors are exposed. One is down, one's half dead, and the other one's in pretty pristine shape. So my question for you is, when the base is open like this and Baron is not an option, what should you do? And the answer is group and push. Well, guess what? Wait for it. Meantime, Mummy's going to be going for the blue buff. At this point, I don't need it anymore, so him taking it just helps him. Doesn't really hurt me at all. Mummy has Magi's. So right here you can see he clears really, really fast, but he melts under pressure. You already saw me solo kill him in the top lane, right around here. Don't worry, that will happen again. Like, it doesn't really make a lot of sense for him to go for this build, because he does have Fizz, who's the AP carry of the team. If they had another tank, they would have won this game hands down. There would have been literally nothing that we could have done. In case you're wondering, Amumu throws the game for them. So here's the 4 of us. I'm thinking, okay, 4 is probably the best we're going to get because Fiora would rather lose than group. And all we have to do is kill this inhibitor. You can see right here they really want my Banshees. And if you're wondering, I built this because Fizz was such an issue. So when it's much too late, the team finally does show up, and we get aced. That was literally 5 for 1. So, Elder Dragon is finally out, if you notice down here. But they're making the correct choice where they want to push this to get a wave of supers of their own. Holy crap, Ornn is tanky. So real quick, let's jump over to him. He does have 200 armor at the moment. Courtesy of Banner of Command, Frozen Heart, and...
Blue team's turret has been destroyed.
Anyway, I'll be up in a moment. I did not know Fizz ulted that. We don't have any vision around here to see that he did that. That was kind of interesting. In case you're wondering, once again, I'm at the point where I'm just thinking, is the team grouping? If so, I can go over there. If not, I'd just be wasting my time, and I could use that time to farm or something instead. They succeed in forcing them off the dragon. I'm waiting in the wings because I figure one of these two is going to peel off, and if they do, I'll be right behind them. So you can see MF is actually going for the minions rather than the dragon. And as a result, it kills her. Immobile AD carries like that are just pure sitting ducks, and if you get the chance, be like Pyke, take advantage of it. So right here I wanted to force off any pursuers that might have been around here. Once again, we still didn't have vision, so I didn't know if there was someone that was right there, or if he just was overambitious. So Fizz is so freaking fat he now has his upgraded Zonias. I don't think I've ever built a Masterwork item yet. So this time, I could try to go over and steal it, but I just don't care. I'm at the point where I'm just kind of waiting for the game to end, because if my team's not grouping, it's only a matter of time until we lose. That's all it comes down to. So real quick, I should point out some numbers for you. I'm the only member of my team that's level 18. As for them, everyone other than their support is 18. And that's the end. Seriously, right there, Mummy through the game. Being that squishy, he had no reason to be that far forward. Once he went down, we got the catch on Jhin. Thing is, in order to attack their base, we kind of need to open it up a little bit. Hence the inhibitors. So watch this one. Cocoon to the face. So right there, I took him out of the fight. Fizz is still out there somewhere. There he goes. Didn't get an assist off him, sadly. So if you look at the numbers, by all means we should have lost this one, but Mummy threw it. Misfortune and Fiora just adamantly refused to group. They refused to play the game like you're supposed to. And it almost cost us. So while the three of them were crying in the post-game chat, I just admired my stats and took off. So I will go ahead and pull those up. Here we go. So in terms of damage, you can see where Fiora falls. Right here by the Nautilus. As for their team, you can see that Jin and Fizz were the two big guns. Mummy went for the AP build, but it just didn't pay off. Whole thing is, like I keep trying to emphasize, he goes in, he blows up, and then that's it. He doesn't continue to deal damage like Amumu does. And that's why I don't really care for that build. As for damage taken, I took the least here because I either outright killed something, and that was the end of it, or I just sat in the sidelines while I waited for them to kill themselves, them being my allies, since they didn't want to group. That's all it came down to. So, yeah, that was that. For runes... Which one is it? Oh, it was this one. So I changed this for a game afterwards. What I was running at the time was this. Well, cheap shot instead of this. So it was like that. Okay, that was the Jarvan page. So this is literally the Elise page. I'll change it back when I'm ready to do something next. And then when I won that game, I got the level up, so we'll open this, pray for Mal's. LeBlanc, I think that's my third LeBlanc, yep. So I actually could have upgraded her, but I'll think about it. I have a lot of blue essence from the event. The only thing left for me to do is one Pike game and then one PvP game, and I have 2 weeks to do so. Still not looking forward to that, though. But yeah, that was the Elise game. Sad part is, like, my team was the single biggest obstacle of that game. They just did not want to do anything. Fiora just wanted to split push the entire game, even though it kept getting her killed. The enemy team grouped up early. No one on my team wanted to group. And that should have been a losing game, but Mummy gave us a lifeline. So, make of that what you will. Overall, I got to show how the AP junglers are, kind of, and you got to see an Elise game, and hopefully you understand why I'm a little frustrated. But anyway, that is it for now. I'm the Hero of Light. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.